that. Thanks for bearing with us. So like I was saying, thank you so much for being here with us. We have an eventful evening, so I'm going to just go through a couple slides very briefly just to kind of give you an overview of what's to come in the next couple of months of the school year. And so moving along here. We have 5 counselors here at Aragon. We are serving your students based on their last names. We all are on this call right now, so I'm going to let the counselors introduce themselves and let you know what part of the alphabet they represent. So I am Miss Sanguinetti. I have the beginning of the alphabet. I serve students with the last names A through DH.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Miss Wendy, and I serve students last names DI through KE.
Hi, everybody. My name is Mr. Magana, first name Javier. I serve the alphabet of KH through MI.
I will let you know Ms. Ho is handling some of our technical difficulties, but she handles students with the last names MO to SC.
Thank you, Ms. Sanguinetti. I'm Erica Searles. I handle the end of the alphabet, so everybody SE through Z.
And we work with your students mainly in 3 different domains. We work with them in their academics, social emotional, and their college and career. And so we like to think that we are a one-stop shop. We are open to helping students and families navigate the high school system and beyond. But it's not just us that are leading the show as well. We have a wonderful team that, works alongside us in the counseling department. We have Miss Castillo. She is our counseling advisor. So she is in the front of our office, kind of the face of our office. When students walk in, she is the first person they see, and she is able to answer probably 9 times out of the 10, many of the questions that students have if their counselor is not available. We have Miss Leota. She is our student data analyst. She handles everything grade related, transcripts related, things like that. On the college and career side, we have Miss Mary O'Reilly. She is our college and career advisor. We have Caroline Mawala. She works specifically with students around financial aid and scholarship opportunities. And we have Miss Queenie Hawk. She is our career technical education advisor. She works with students around volunteer opportunities, internships, job shadowing, opportunities like that. So she goes out into the community and finds us many of the opportunities for our students. Coming up April 28th to May 2nd, we are having Rising Senior Week, just to kind of get the conversation started, getting our students thinking about what is coming up in senior year. So as you can see, each day has a different breakdown of different things that we're going to be focusing on. With a culmination at the end of the week where the counselors are going to be going into the junior classrooms and presenting everything post-high school related, just kind of getting them ready for those next steps. Something that I just want to briefly touch upon because it seems to come up often throughout the college application process is letter of recommendations. If your student is thinking of applying to a 4-year university that is private or independent, most of those colleges require letters of recommendation. And so your students are going to be learning about our letter of recommendation process. And so it's really important that if they are applying to a private university, that you keep some deadlines in mind and make sure that they are working with their counselor to turn in all the necessary paperwork so that we could get those letters of recommendation written for them and turned in on time. Okay, I am going to stop sharing my screen. We are going to have the first college representative we are going to be hearing from is Lydia Palmer from the University of Toronto. And if you know, there is a time difference. It's quite late over in Canada. And so we appreciate you so much. She's going to be giving us an international perspective and hopefully, letting you know all the benefits of studying abroad. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you so much for having me. I'm just going to share my screen, so bear with me for one moment, please. Okay, so hopefully everyone can see that. If anyone wants to just give me a thumbs up that you can see my new screen, I'd appreciate it. Perfect. Thanks, Cameron. Okay. So, well, first of all, officially, hello. Thank you so much for having me this evening. As you heard, my name is Lydia Palmer. I work at the University of Toronto. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the manager of international student recruitment here at U of T. So I'm very excited to be joining this evening. It is a different time in Toronto, so you may not see me, unfortunately, until the very end of the event, or I may not be able to stay until the very end, but I'm really glad to be here tonight to share a little bit of information with you about international study. So I am the U of T's representative for Northern California and Southern California as well, all of California, but I'm also very happy to be a representative of studying abroad. So today, what I'm going to cover a little bit more about is the possibility of studying abroad, what it looks like maybe to consider studying in Canada, if that sounds like maybe where you'd like to study abroad if interested. And then I will share just a couple little tips or information details about the University of Toronto. So some things to consider if maybe you're wondering, well, why would I want to study abroad? Why would I want to study internationally? Well, for a number of reasons, which you can see on the screen, is that there's some really great questions that you can actually start to consider as you're thinking about where you might want to look at for university. So if you think of yourself at your dream institution, what might be the right fit for you? Are you looking for a big campus or small? How about in a city, or are you looking for a rural setting? What types of programs are you looking for? Are you looking for out of classroom experiences? These are some really great questions that can help you get started with your planning. And so if you open up your options to consider of course, all the wonderful options and opportunities that you have in the United States, but also universities abroad, you're really opening up your possibilities considerably because there's fantastic universities all around the world, and each is offering unique cultural and academic experiences. So a lot of students like to consider going abroad for the university education because of all of these options, and with many schools offering degrees that are highly regarded and provide an education that's of really high quality. So depending on where you go, you might even find that the cost is similar or even less than studies may cost in the United States. And a lot of institutions also offer international scholarships and awards for international students. And in some cases, depending on your citizenship, if you have dual citizenship or the languages that you speak, you could be offered reduced tuition. So that's always something to consider if you speak another language or if you happen to have a dual citizenship. What's really important to note, and sort of my theme for this presentation, is that each country, each institution has completely different processes. So there's not really one specific set of information for international institutions. Really, it's about having lots of options to explore. And that type of exploring is also one of the benefits of international study, and that if you choose to go abroad, you'll have an opportunity to experience a different culture, meet new people, and gain global experience that looks not only great on a resume, but I think even more so importantly is that it's really great experience for you as well. And as you'll be traveling to your country of study, if you consider going abroad, one thing is that you'll travel to not only travel to the country where you're hoping to study, but also you'll get some opportunity to maybe travel there as well. And that type of independence that you'll gain from departing and starting your university life abroad, it can really be life-changing. And you may also have opportunities to learn a new language and, of course, experience cultural differences. So the more life experience that you can expose yourself to, the greater your learning experience can be. And it's also a great time to experience this type of life-changing opportunity because, you know, your commitments may not be what they might be in the future. You have a little bit of freedom. So it really is a good time. International students also develop a unique network in that many international students get to stay connected with those that they've met abroad. And also many institutions offer study abroad programs. So you can further your international experience with perhaps a week, summer, semester, or even a full year in another country or location. And think about how you may be able to enhance an institution by your presence as an international student. So think about that too, that they're going to be lucky to have you from coming abroad and bringing in great culture, connecting with your peers in that institution. So if this sounds like it might be of interest to you, here are a few things to maybe consider as you start planning. One thing as you're looking at research, potential countries and schools, is to take a look at the types of degrees offered and the lengths of the degrees. Many universities offer accredited degrees that you can bring back and are recognized in the United States, but it's always a good idea to check and do your research in advance. Every country also has their own process for attaining a visa and or a study permit. So government websites can often help you find this information, as well the universities that you're looking at typically have an overview of this process as well. And the good news is you're likely not the first international student at that school, so there's always going to be a process in place for you. Now, housing in terms of residence or dormitories really can differ depending on the location or the size of institution. And of course, you'll have your own preference too, so be sure to check with each school you're interested in. As an example, some schools may require that you live on campus. Others don't have a campus living option at all, where others may offer a residence, but it's not required. So you want to do that research in advance. You'll also want to check if the country or institution offers medical coverage for international students and look into availability of work experience outside of the classroom. You may not need a work permit, or perhaps it's not possible to gain work experience as an international student. So these are all really good things to check on before you depart. Now, finally, probably one of the biggest questions we receive about international study is, what about financial aid? Is it available? So again, this really is going to depend on the country and the institution, and same thing in terms of scholarships and awards. I'm going to share a little bit of information about how it works in Canada shortly, just to give you some examples, but it's really important to check on the specific countries that you're interested in. In terms of admission requirements, it's really important to check with each institution. A lot of international schools actually do use the Common App, and others may also have their own countrywide application. And the good news is that just like schools in the United States, many institutions have admission officers, just like myself and my colleagues here today, who can work specifically with international students and can help you with all the information that you're looking for. Most institutions also often offer several types of virtual offerings like info sessions or virtual tours or one-on-one appointments. So please take advantage and connect with a representative or admission officer online, because they are more than happy to help you with the process coming from abroad. And if you're wondering where to get started, if this has kind of piqued your interest, well, here are some good questions to begin with to learn more about an international school's admission requirements. What is the school's test policy, and what is it currently, and is it possible that it might change in the future? Do they have a suggested minimum GPA, or can they share middle 50% data for students who've applied from the US previously? Are there specific prerequisite courses and/or grades that you need to have for the programs that you're interested in? As well, please note that not all schools require essays or reference letters, so do check about this before applying or before sending in any information, because sometimes sending extra materials that haven't been requested can cause delays. Are you looking for a school where extracurriculars have an impact on admission, or is interest tracked? And I think one of the most important questions is, when are applications due and when are required documents due? Every school is a little bit different, and by no means are these all of the questions or complete list, but just a few things to consider where to get started. So another thing that you can do is to talk with your counselor. You have wonderful resources at your school. You can also research online. There's more information basically for every single school. And if you're able to, visiting in person is a wonderful opportunity. A lot of schools also have summer programs, so you could potentially look at attending a summer program in between this year and next year, if that's still possible. You could sign up for an event or a mailing list. And as I mentioned, contacting the recruitment officer available, as well as alumni and international students. So if you connect with a school, they typically have a current student from the United States that maybe they could connect you with. As well, they might also be able to connect you with an alumni in your area that would be able to answer some more questions. So now that I've covered a little bit about international study, I do want to just kind of zoom in on Canada very briefly, because this is a nice option for students from the United States who are thinking about going abroad. And when you think of Canada, there may be a few things that come to mind. A couple of them are listed on the screen, like maple syrup and snow, of course. I won't tell you if it has snowed recently or not here. I just hope you're enjoying that lovely sunny weather in California. But we do have 4 beautiful seasons across Canada and in the Greater Toronto area as well. Canada is very well known for our diverse landscapes and our community options, for being a very welcoming country and for celebrating diversity, and also for its beauty from ocean to ocean with the Rocky Mountains and everything in between. So it is a great place to be. It's also not very far for you, maybe a little bit of distance coming from the United States, but not super far. So you're at the most probably looking at a 6-hour ride, a flight, I should say, or depending on if you head just straight up north, you're not too far from British Columbia either. We're known for our very high quality of education. So sometimes students from the US wonder, well, will this work in the United States? Will I be able to bring my degree back? Absolutely, that's the case. And majority of our universities and colleges in Canada are public. We have very few private universities in Canada. It's just a system that functions differently. And colleges in Canada refer to what would be a community college in the United States. So universities are degree granting institutions. And our style of education are typically 4-year bachelor degree programs. They're programs that typically offer flexibility. Often, many of the programs, you're not locked into the programs right away, so you do have some options depending on the program and the university to explore a little bit. But for example, we're closer to our style of education in the United States than we would be to the United Kingdom. We're also known for offering experiential opportunities. So this is something that we really celebrate, is having co-op opportunities, internship programs. These are paid work placements that you can do as part of your degree, which is really great, not only for the experience, but it can help offset the cost of tuition. We also in Canada have the postgraduate work permit, which you can apply for after you graduate from a Canadian institution. If granted, you are eligible to stay in Canada typically for 3 years after you graduate to continue working in the country. So that is a nice option if you think that you might want to stay. And if you think you might just want to come for a little while, of course, we do have exchange programs and study abroad programs as well. We also have a fairly straightforward application process. For most Canadian institutions, it's done in 2 different steps. So rather than gathering everything all together, normally there's the initial application, and then step 2 is actually submitting documents to support your application. So again, every university in Canada is a little bit different, but if you wanted to take a look at all the different universities in Canada, I've got some resources here on the screen. This is where you can view all the different universities and search through them and learn a little bit more about education in Canada. And fully aware of the time, so I will just very quickly, I wanted to share with you my QR code if you'd like to learn a little bit more about the University of Toronto specifically. As well, I wanted to highlight that the University of Toronto is very well known for being Canada's top research university, and as well as being one of the best universities ranked worldwide. Also, one of our latest facts is that we're the #1 sustainable university in the world. So we're very proud to be addressing climate change as much as we can and reversing that as much as possible. We're a university that has a great legacy of discovery and innovation. Like insulin was discovered at U of T. We've produced Oscar winners, Olympic champions, the world's first electronic pacemaker. Stem cell research began at U of T. So that type of groundbreaking research continues to this very day. And students can research as early as their 2nd year at the University of Toronto. We're very fortunate to be located in one of the most dynamic regions in the world. Toronto is incredibly diverse, and it's also a wonderful community made up of many different regions. It's known for being safe, it's known for being welcoming, and it's also known for having fantastic food. So there's always something to do in Toronto, and that's what's allowed us, in part, to grow into one of the largest universities in Canada. We do have over 70,000 undergraduate students at U of T, but they are across 3 different campuses. So we have our downtown campus and then 2 smaller campuses outside of downtown. So it's all about what suits you. What type of setting are you looking for? And you also have the ability to mix and match your programs to build your own personalized degree. And with over 700 program options, there's truly no shortage of the type of program that you can build for yourself. That includes studies in areas like arts, business, and science, as well as engineering, and our kinesiology, architectural studies, visual studies, and music. So there's a lot of options for students to mix and match their programs along with their extracurriculars as well. So with that, I'm aware, I think I am right out of time, but I did want to share with you, again, that QR code. So if you do have more on the QR code on the screen. So thank you so much for having me. I don't want to take any more time from my colleagues who are also wanting to share this evening, but I did want to say thank you for having me, and I look forward to connecting with you in the future.
Ms. Palmer, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. The University of Toronto looks amazing, and in the past few years, I know a couple of students, Aragon students, that are just having the best time up there. So thank you again so much. I did want to mention that our Q&A is open. Ms. Palmer, you might have 2 questions about dual citizenship. If you could maybe pop in and answer those. But for our attendees, please feel free to pop any questions you might have into the Q&A, and hopefully we could get those answered for you. Our next presenter tonight is coming not so far, right up the hill from College of San Mateo. Sione Sina is here tonight. Thank you so much for being here. Our Aragon students love CSM, and so thank you for being here, teaching us a little bit more about how awesome CSM is.
Yes. Welcome to college. I just said, I would say a lot of students, you guys probably see me, I don't know, on campus and now and then.
Sione, you are here. I can't hear you very well. I'm not too sure if it's the same. And now you might be frozen a little bit. We will give Mr. Sina just a second to maybe get back on.
Hello, you got me?
All right, there he is.
I'm here. Let's go. Hello,
All
everyone.
right. Hey, sorry to interrupt real quick. Right before you go, I just want to make an announcement that unfortunately we were not able to set up the Chinese interpretation. There was some kind of technical difficulties. This is being recorded, and for all of our families who want interpretation, please note that we will do what we can. We really apologize, but please come in and talk to the counseling office, and we will definitely do what we can to help support you and your student.
Can I just make this really quick as a brief announcement?
Yes, absolutely.
很抱歉，我们今天晚上那个普通话的国语翻译的平台没有办法去设计，所以我们这一个会议是完全录音的，所以如果有任何问题可以找不同的辅导员 counselor 去直接问问题。很抱歉，再次我们不能开放那个国语的平台。Okay, sorry about that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, all yours, Sione.
Thank you so much. So we're going from literally the furthest college away to the closest college, College of San Mateo. Hello, everybody. If you don't know me, I'm Sione. I'm the college recruiter. You might have seen me on campus, students. I walk around every now and then. We also have like a little corner every 2 Mondays. Every other Monday, we're down on campus, so you might have seen me. But other than that, I'm just here to spread the great word about College of San Mateo. And I know a lot of you probably know a lot about it, but I'll share a little bit more. So let me go ahead and share my screen and here, and then we'll get this thing going. Okay. Okay. Is everybody seeing my beautiful Canva slides? Good, 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 good. Okay. Let me know. Just let me know because I really don't see any thumbs or anything. So if you don't see it, just I'll pause real fast. But let's get this going. So CSM, the Communities College, we're literally one exit down the street. So if you don't know about us, I don't know, you probably live in space, but we're literally down the hall, down the street from Aragon High School. And so biggest thing about CSM, if you haven't heard already, is free. And so if you live in a county and you come to CSM and your degree or certificate seeking, you're coming to college for free. You shouldn't have to pay any tuition. There might be some textbook fees that you might have to pay, but there's a bunch of programs that'll literally just give you money if you're part of those programs to pay for your textbooks. So the number one thing about coming to college is San Mateo parents and students who are thinking about the long run instead of like the short run of going to some big school. Think about free. So you don't have to go into depth, or you can go into half as much depth if you are thinking about going the 4-year route after coming to college at San Mateo. So you come here for free 2 years. And there is, just to clear it up, a lot of people think you come to college at San Mateo and you're done. There's nothing afterwards. You can come to college at San Mateo, come to CSM. It's a community college. Then after you knock out 2 years, which is a lot of your general ed courses, your math, your sciences, your Englishes, and take a certain amount of units. Once you do that, you transfer to the 4-year. Then at the 4-year, you can focus a lot on your major, and specifically on what you want to study and stuff. And so instead of going straight to the 4-year right out of high school and paying $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a year to take math and science and English classes, you can just knock that out at CSM for free. Yeah, that's the number one thing. We have a saying, if it's free, it's for me, I'll take 3. So come to CSM and get your 3 free AA degrees or certificates. And then also you don't have to transfer to the 4-year. If you do not want to continue on to the 4 years, you can just come here, you can get your certificate and go right into the workforce. And so you can do that 100% here at College of San Mateo for free for 2 years. There's also another way you can get in. I know this is rising seniors, so you guys are underclassmen, you aren't seniors yet. But when you get to your senior year, if you haven't already started taking advantage of dual enrollment and concurrent enrollment, that's you starting college early right now for free while you're at Aragon High School. Fun fact: Miss Ho and Miss Sanguinetti taught a dual enrollment class, a counseling class, in the past, and so they had students getting college credit while they're in high school and knocking out some credit, some units towards their 4-year degree and stuff. And so that's completely free as well, as long as you're under 11 units for both dual enrollment and concurrent enrollment. And so for you guys going into your junior year, and maybe you don't like, I don't know, maybe you can care less about the units and stuff like that. Maybe you just want to like dip your toes in and see what college is like. This is definitely a great route to take, to just explore college and what it's like to be a college student as the senior in high school and stuff. So definitely, if you aren't taking advantage of dual enrollment and concurrent enrollment, all you rising seniors going into your senior year, you should definitely look into taking advantage of it. So it's free, and you can knock out some college credits, and you can get the experience of what it's like to be a college student already while you're in high school. We do have a lot of kids who take advantage of middle college as well. I don't list middle college in here, dual enrollment and concurrent, but we do offer middle college as well. And so that's literally, we have like a high school campus in the middle of college. You do have to apply for that program. I would talk to your counselor and see if that's a route that you want to take going into your senior year. And so definitely, talk to all your counselors about all this. For dual enrollment, if you don't know the difference, dual enrollment, our professors go to Aragon High School, or your teachers who are currently at Aragon, they teach the class. So we literally bring CSM to your college, to your high school, and we teach classes there. Concurrent enrollment is when you guys come to CSM. So you're taking something here on campus, or you're taking like an online class. And so those are the two differences. I always get the confusion. Hey, what's the difference between dual and concurrent? So dual, we go to you. Concurrent, you come to us. And then middle colleges, there's a college camp or high school campus literally in the middle of our college campus. And so if you haven't already taken advantage of uh, these high school programs, definitely take advantage. And it's free. I can't overemphasize that enough. You're going to hear me say that all day. And so, yes, here's another thing that high school students are always interested in learning about is our tag program. So it's guaranteed transfer. Really, when it comes down to it, it's just all these colleges that you see on the screen. So 6 UCs. UC Irvine, UC Santa Cruz, UC Santa Barbara, UC Davis, UC Merced, UC Riverside, Cal State, East Bay, and SF State. Each one of those schools, they have requirements. And so it's like certain number of units, certain classes you have to take, and a certain GPA. As long as you meet those requirements, then you can get into their college guaranteed admission. And also I just want to touch that they are specific majors, and so you can't just you have to check in with the counselors. If you do come to CSM, you would meet with your counselor and say, hey, does UC Santa Barbara accept tag with a major in communications or something like that? And so you would check the major, then you would check the requirements. What are the units? What are the classes that I have to take? And what is the GPA that I have to get? And as long as you meet those requirements, you getting guaranteed. You don't have to wait and see, oh my gosh, did I get accepted into UC Irvine? No, you're getting guaranteed because you met all the requirements and you're a rock star and you did that. And so you knocked out 2 free years here at CSM, and then you're getting guaranteed to any one of these colleges over here. There are a bunch of out-of-state colleges. There are some we do tag with 39 HBCUs. But I will say that out-of-state colleges are a lot more money. So just take that into consideration if you do want to tag somewhere else like Arizona State, just somewhere out there. And so just think about that. Talk with your parents like, hey, mom, dad, it's going to be $40,000 a year to go to the school. So you can tag to those programs. You can also tag to in-house in California or down the street, Cal State, East Bay, SF State, and stuff like that. These are just what I mentioned before about the tag program. 7 course patterns with C or better for IGETC, 2 transferable courses in English. So like I said, I mean, I don't want to like just dive into this. It's kind of boring. It's specific English classes, specific math classes, specific science classes, sociology, some anthropology, like social science classes, and then 60 units. Majority is 60 units, especially for UC programs. And just know if you're taking 60 units, that means you're getting your AA degree. So you're definitely leaving College of San Mateo with your AA degree. And then at the bottom, you got to meet a certain GPA requirement. And so just check in. I think the highest that I've heard is like a 3.4. And so that's the highest. I would always shoot for like the hardest college to get in. As long as you're meeting like the hardest college to get in, you should be good in tagging to the other programs and stuff. So tag is definitely, parents, students, is a great program for you guys to take advantage of. So if you are coming to CSM, I would meet with my counselor as soon as I step in, or before you even come to CSM, you're going to meet with your counselor and say, hey, I'm thinking about tagging to this school. So then you guys will figure out, like, lay out your whole plan. Like literally from the moment you step on campus to the moment you leave, you'll have your plan mapped out for you. And so think about that. Tag, guaranteed transfer into some colleges and universities. So specifically to CSM, we have over 150 plus degrees and certificates here. Everybody always asks me, have business, biology, engineering? Yes, we have business, biology, and engineering. For the most part, guys, almost all colleges offer these programs, community colleges, and at the 4 years. And so if you're interested in going those route, we definitely have that, the math, the English, the sciences. What we don't have like is a specific like aerospace engineering or something like that, you know. But you can start here in one of these majors, and then when you transfer to the 4 year, then you can dive into a specific major that you want to do. But you start here at CSM in one of these general like engineering, biology, business, and then you can transfer. These ones are unique to College of San Mateo. Our nursing program is a great program. We do tag to SF State, and we have a bridge program with SF State, which is pretty crazy. Our students, once they get their AA degree in nursing, they'll transfer guaranteed into SF State, and 6 months later, after transferring, they'll have their bachelor's degree. And so that's like kind of unheard of, like to get your AA and then 6 months later get your bachelor's. And so definitely think if you like the nursing, if you're thinking about becoming a nurse in the future, working in that in medicine, this is definitely a route for you to go. And also, a lot of nurses, after they become nurses, they want to go into medicine and become doctors. So that's definitely a route. If you're thinking of going the doctor route, a lot of students go into nursing and then afterwards they continue into becoming a doctor and stuff like that. So that's a route if you want to take for medicine. EMT Fire Academy, one of our probably most popular programs is our Fire Academy. If you're and don't think about just becoming a firefighter, think about like working in the fire service. We also just got approved our paramedics program, and so the paramedics program is going to be built out probably by the time you guys graduate high school. Digital medias, I know this era of social media and graphic design, all those things, videos, podcasts. So if you want to do that, come here. Dental assistant, astronomy. I want to touch up on all these. For career education, these are like so you can get your AA degree and transfer to the 4-year, but all these programs that I'm about to list, you can just get a certificate and then go right into the workforce. So for EMT Fire, you're definitely going right. Don't think about transferring. You're definitely going to go right into becoming or working in the fire industry after this, unless you do want to go to the 4-year. Nursing, dental assistant, digital media, like I mentioned, cosmetology and estheticians, 2 popular programs. Administration of justice. If any of you guys are interested in studying law, that's the route you want to go if you come here to College of San Mateo. Administration of justice, real estate. If you can sell a house in San Mateo County, you're going to be a millionaire. So just remember me in the future if you do work in real estate. Fitness trainer, computer information science, architecture, building inspection, addiction studies, business. And so we do have the business degree, but you can also get business certificates on like how to manage and run your business. And accounting certificates is always great as well, because you need to know money in order to manage your business. So definitely consider accounting if you are going into business. There's that. Also, and a lot of these things, what I'm sharing, I probably should share this in the beginning. If you apply to College of San Mateo, you can take classes at Kenyatta and Skyline. And so just know you don't have to apply to CSN. I mean, apply to Skyline or Kenyatta. If you see a class that you like and you want to take at Kenyatta or Skyline, you can take classes at those colleges. And so we're all sister colleges, and so you will see a lot of like the similar courses. And not only similar courses, you're going to see a lot of similar programs as well. And so Learning Communities is one of these programs that's offered at Kenyatta and Skyline. But these ones are unique to College of San Mateo, to CSM. We have our cultural program, our cultural learning communities. So think about learning communities as going through college with a community, or aka what we call cohort. So you're going through college together with a group of students the moment you step on campus to the moment you leave campus. And so you will have you will have support your whole time here on campus. And so we have our cultural learning communities. Mana is our Oceania Pacific Islander learning community. Katipunan is our Philippine X learning community. Puente is our Hispanic Latinx learning community. Moja is our Black and Hispanic, Black and African American learning community. And so what's good about these learning communities, yes, you get a designated counselor, but you're also taking like classes, so English and math. You're taking like English classes that revolve around, say for Puente, like Hispanic culture. And so I don't know if there's any English teachers in the building, but we're kicking out Shakespeare, we're kicking out all the regular, your general like English topics, and we're teaching students about stuff that's relevant to them and interesting to them. And so you're writing essays about your Hispanic culture, about your Filipinx culture and stuff like that. Yeah. And so if you're learning about stuff that you actually want to learn about, you're more likely to pass your English classes and your math classes and stuff. And so we have high success rates for our English and our math classes and transfer rates for these students as well. These are WES, MES, Title IX. These are for student athletes. Honors Project. Honors Project is a big one as well for students who are interested in transferring to like UCLA. So just think of, you guys have honors classes at your high school. We have honors classes here at community college. And so our students who are part of the honors project are, they're basically learning like grad level schoolwork. So if you go to college after high school, you're getting your bachelor's. After your bachelor's, you get your master's. So honors is kind of like master's level schoolwork. And so when they're applying to the 4 years after they finish at CSM, they have a much higher rate of getting accepted into UCLA. It's not guaranteed, but it's much, much, much higher of getting into like UCLA because they're taking grad level schoolwork. And if you can do grad level schoolwork and be successful, then you can be successful at UCLA. And so I know a couple of students who I hired actually were part of that program and are now at UCLA through the honors project and stuff. And then Project Change is our justice impacted youth. And so these are our learning communities. Two big programs you definitely should know about, especially if you're considering staying local here at CSM, Kenyatta, or Skyline, is Promise and ELPS. So you definitely want to sign up for both of these programs because you get like a ridiculous amount of support. You get dedicated counseling, you'll get some tech support, priority registration. Just know that what's it called? Rate My Professor is a real thing, and people will use that to sign up for those teachers first and those classes first. So priority registration is a big, big thing to take advantage of. Textbook support, they'll give you $750 to help pay for your textbooks. And then there's a bunch of other great stuff that you can get part of ELPS or Promise. And you're not limited to one. You can get both ELPS and Promise. So if you leave here after this presentation, just remember ELPS and Promise. And of course, free. Free. If it's free for me, I'd say 3. So ELPS and Promise. Sign up for both of these if you guys are planning to come to college at San Mateo. This is just their contact information. I can send this to your counselors if you guys want these. We are pretty good in athletics. I'm not gonna lie, we're pretty legit. If we have any student athletes in the Zoom, in the chat, definitely consider us. We get a lot of Aragon students who come up here and they play ball for us. So we have a rich tradition of just excellence in athletics here at College of San Mateo. So if you are thinking that route, definitely come to us. And then lastly, I just like to tell students our students go everywhere. Our students go to Harvard, they go to Yale, they go to Princeton, they go to Cal, Stanford, USC, they go to Alabama, they go international, they go everywhere. But they start here at College of San Mateo, here at CSM at home, and they do it for free. Myself, I am a CSM alumni. I graduated from CSM. I transferred to Berkeley. After Berkeley, I got my master's at University of San Francisco. And now in the fall, I'll be working towards my doctorate at SF State. And so what we really tell students, like, you can go anywhere from College of San Mateo. It's just up to you on how far you want to go. Yeah, we want you to start your journey at College of San Mateo. And then lastly, virtual is great, but we are having an event next week, next Thursday. If you guys want to stop by, you're already here in the evening on a Wednesday night. You can join us next Thursday night, and we'll feed you some food if you want to ask some more in-person questions. So feel free to scan this QR code. You'll see me in person. And we'll just tell you a lot more about College of San Mateo. And you can ask literally all your questions about financial aid, not human resources, all her resources and programs, and the next steps that you want to take as a junior to come and get ready to become a student at College of San Mateo. Cool. If you need anything else from me, feel free to reach out to CSM Outreach at smccd.edu. And I'll be happy to respond as fast as I can. So thank y'all for your time. Aragon, I appreciate y'all. I'll pass the mic back to you.
Thank you so much, Tony, for being here. Appreciate you. Let me turn on, I don't know why you can't see my face, but
Yeah.
I'm rolling with it tonight. That's okay. But thank you. Thank you so much. I saw some familiar faces in your PowerPoint from Aragon, so that is awesome. I do see a couple of questions in the Q&A that might be directed towards you. So if you could maybe take a look at that before you sign off, be greatly appreciated.
Will do. Thank you.
Okay. We're gonna keep rolling here. We have Cassandra Garcia visiting us from Sonoma State University. Thank you so much for being here this evening. And I'm just gonna go ahead and pass the mic just in the interest of time. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll try my best to make it quick. Let me go to, give me 1 second, y'all. Okie dokies. Yeah, so I'll make this quick, and if you do guys have any questions, let them write them down below. And then also, I am let me introduce myself. My name is Cassandra Garcia. I'm a Sonoma State Outreach and Recruitment Counselor, also alum from Sonoma State. So if you do have any questions regarding any CSU, please let me know. My information will be at the end. However, if you have a specific question regarding Sonoma State, I am your girl. But let's just get started. Let me spin. Okay, so some academic excellence or some quick facts. The CSU, we are the largest and most diverse public university system in the US, welcoming.
Sorry to interrupt, Cassandra.
We just
We're
cannot see
having,
your screen.
yeah, we can't see your screen.
Oh.
It's actually kind of good.
Let me stop sharing and then reshare. How about now?
Yes,
Perfect.
there. we go.
Okay, I will just not put it on full screen. How about that?
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. Let me know if you guys can't see anything else. But yes, we are the most diverse public university in the US, welcoming and serving students of all racial, ethnic, and financial and academic backgrounds. The CSU offers independent doctorates in audiology, education, nurse practicing, occupational therapy, physical therapy, and public health. We produce nearly half of California bachelor's degrees, so 1 out of 10 California employees holds a CSU degree. So that's some pretty cool facts. And then on this map here, you'll see all of our CSU campuses, anywhere from Humboldt all the way down to San Diego. So we offer a lot of hands-on learning experiences too, research opportunities that go through with it as well, and then a wide range of research institute and centers. There's experimental learning models where students directly work with faculties on their scholar or research opportunity programs that we have. I know for Sonoma State, we do offer quite a bit of research opportunities, specifically mostly within our environmental planning major as well. So if that's something that you're interested in, please let me know. Moving on. So some more research opportunities that we do have. The CSU does offer quite a wide range of research opportunities, but there's one in specific where basically each CSU can showcase their invention or skills and knowledge, and this is called the CSU Startup Launch Competition, which is pretty cool. An example of this would be, I believe Sacramento State created a Safeguard AI, so a security system software for schools that use artificial intelligence to detect danger and notify safety officials. I believe this was about a year or two ago, and Sac State actually ended up winning second place for the CSU Startup Launch Competition because of that. So again, if you're wanting to learn a little bit more about research opportunities and all that, CSUs do offer quite a bit of those. Now we're looking into studying abroad. So we do offer quite a bit of studying abroad opportunities, more than 60 programs in 18 countries. Students can choose from anywhere from a semester long to an academic year. And there is also financial aid available for those students, but also depending on the CSU of your choosing, their financial aid might be different per each campus. And then throughout our international program, students have the opportunity to study abroad per the same tuition cost as if you were studying on campus. So if you were going to Sonoma State and you wanted to study abroad, you would be paying the same amount of tuition studying abroad as you would be at Sonoma State. So what can you study at a CSU? So this is just a list of a few majors that you're able to study. So we have quite a bit of popular ones that a lot of the CSUs do offer. So business, education, engineering, nursing. I will say one that I always like to brag about, even though I've never been to San Jose State, it is in San Jose State. It is the aerospace engineering major program. So if you're wanting to do aircrafts or spacecrafts, you're interested in that, I highly suggest getting in contact with the outreach team at San Jose State. Another thing, and it's just for me to brag because I'm an alum from Sonoma State and I work there, we do have a business program, but since we are in Wine County, we have a business with a concentration in wine strategies management. So again, if you're interested in learning about wine, managing a wine business or any of that sort, let me know. It's very unique for our campus. So if you're wanting to kind of dive into what kind of programs or majors are available in all of the CSUs, you can definitely check those out at the website linked above. So it's www.calstate.edu/degrees. And this is just kind of a chance for you to basically familiarize yourself with different majors at different CSUs. There should also be a list of descriptions that go along with it. But if you're wanting to do nursing and you're not sure which CSU you would prefer or which CSUs even have nursing, that's basically what this is used for. This website, if you take away the degrees and the slash and you just stay with www.calstate.edu, it will take you to the direct website where you are able to apply. Something cool about the CSU system, besides having 23 campuses, is that there's only one application that you need to fill out when applying to any CSU of your choosing. So you can find it at the calstate.edu. It's pretty simple to apply for. It might be a little bit intimidating at first. However, despite it looking intimidating, if you know which campus you really want to apply to, they will most likely be able to help you apply for your program. So for example, if students are wanting to apply to our education program at Sonoma State, they can get in contact with me and I can help them step by step to apply for their application through Cal State. I'm going to talk a little bit about the freshman eligibility, just since you guys are still in high school wanting to go into potentially a 4-year. So this is basically what we look for, the standard eligibility. This does not include if a campus is impacted with certain majors. So impacted can mean a lot of students are applying for that same program and they're not able to necessarily admit all of those students. So it makes a little bit harder. However, this is just general broad eligibility that most CSUs are looking for. You need to have your A through G completed. So A being history and social science, so 2 years of that. English is 4 years. Mathematics is 3 years. However, I will add this. This is just the standard. If you're wanting to go to a specific CSU for something to do with STEM or want to do statistics, mathematics, engineering, or any of that sort, you might have to take 4 years. But again, this is just the standard eligibility. So math is just 3 years for standard. Liberal science is, laboratory science is 2 years. Language other than English is 2 years. So if you're doing 2 years of Mandarin, 2 years of Spanish, 2 years of French, it just has to be 2 years of the same language. So it can't be 1 year of Spanish and 1 year of French. It has to be 2 years of the same language. And then for visual and performing arts, just 1 year, and a college preparatory elective or any additional course from A through F is 1. One website that I do like to use for high school students, it's called Doorways. And this is, you'll type in the your high school that you're currently attending, and it should show the courses and where they fall under. So type in Doorways, Aragon High School, it'll show all the courses that will fall under A. It'll show all the courses that will fall under Area B. So it's really handy to use if you're trying to figure out which classes you have taken and where do they fall under. So again, complete those A through G requirements with a C grade or higher. California residents, the GPA needs to be at least a 2.5 or greater. However, some CSUs do take students that have a 2.0 to a 2.49 GPA. They just use what we call the multi-factor score sheet, which it is on the next slide. So just like primary factors, what we look for within the CSU, again, you've completed those A through G courses after 11th grade into the 11th grade, or after the 9th grade into the 11th grade. And then again, those GPA and courses taken and subject relevant to selected majors. So we also look for, again, if you've taken a course that has something to do with the major you're wanting to go into. And then also just the number of academics. We also just check maybe to see if you have a little bit more of those academic courses than what is required for the A through G courses. Again, some CSUs, I believe most CSUs, like Sonoma State, we do take on dual admissions. So if you're a student going to College of San Mateo and you're still a high school student and you're afraid that, hey, I want to apply to Sonoma State, but I'm not sure if you guys take my academic courses from College of San Mateo. We totally do. We actually also, we look for that when you're applying to see what lower division courses you don't need to take. So lower divisions are those first 2 years, those English, the math. However, if again, you do have those 2.0 to a 2.49, we use the multi-factor score sheet or the secondary supplemental factor sheet where we just kind of try to find ways for us to boost your GPA in order to accept you to our CSU. So again, those can be anywhere from if you have a free or reduced lunch. If you're a first generation, low income, foster youth, or military service family, we look for that as well. Or if you've engaged in any academic engagement outside of school, or if you're within the student body at your high school, so ASB. So we look for ways to increase your GPA for a higher chance of your acceptance. Another thing that I like to point out, so I am heavy on community college. I went to community college. I went to Diablo Valley College in Pleasant Hill. I am all for it. If you rather want to take the community college route, there are two options that you can take. And it's up to you. This is not like you have to, but this is two options that the CSU does offer. One being the Transfer Success Pathway Program. So a cool thing about the Transfer Success Pathway Program, it's pretty new, but this is if you're a senior and you know exactly what major you want to go into. However, you don't want to go straight into a 4-year. No problem. Basically what this is you'll apply into the Transfer Success Pathway Program. You plug in which community college you are attending, which CSU you are wanting to attend, and with what major. And what that does is that sends the application to that CSU. They check your courses, they check your interests, the major that you're wanting to go into. They send you back a list of the classes that you need to take at that community college. If you take those classes and you're passing those classes within the time frame, so within those 2 years, it's basically a guaranteed admission to that CSU. However, I will say if there's a specific campus that is impacted, for example, San Jose State is an impacted campus. They do offer the TSP, Transfer Success Pathway Program, on their campus. However, it might not be for all of their majors. So if you're specifically looking for a certain major and you do Transfer Success Pathway Program and they don't have it, I still highly recommend getting in contact with their admissions or outreach team to see if there's anything that you can do, or to see if they potentially might have that Transfer Success Pathway Program in the following year. However, the one thing is you have to have at least already graduated high school as a senior, going straight into a community college, or have started your first semester at a community college when you're applying for this. The second that you take a first semester of a community college, you won't be guaranteed for that. However, you can still apply into the transfer planner. So what the transfer planner is, it's basically, and the QR code is right there. You can create your account, plug in which major you're interested in taking at which community college you're taking it at, and it'll just also show you a list of classes that you need to take in order for you to receive a transfer degree. I did the transfer planner at DVC. It worked phenomenal for me and it got me straight into Sonoma State without having to take any extra classes that I wasn't aware of. So if you're more of just wanting to have a structural planner, I would suggest transfer planner. Just since, you know, as a community college student, I changed my degree 3 times and I would have much rather done a transfer planner to know which CSU general education courses I needed to take versus which CSU plus my major choice of classes I needed to take. But again, it just falls under what you're looking for. That is it for me. My information is down below, so my email and phone number. If you have any specific questions regarding Sonoma State, again, I am here to answer any of those. If it's in regards to any of the other 22 CSUs, I highly recommend getting in contact with the outreach team. If you're not sure how to find that or find their information, feel free to still email me and I can direct you to that department. Thank you.
Ms. Garcia, thank you so much for being here and giving us some insight into Sonoma State and just the overall CSU system. I too transferred into the CSU system and, you know, loved it. So thank you so much. We next will be hearing from our a private university. So Chapman University is here. We have Cameron Perini. Thank you so much. And I will turn the floor over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. My name's Cameron. I'm an admission counselor at Chapman University. I've had a chance and opportunity to visit your high school before, so excited to get a chance to speak to you a little bit more about the private school system and a little bit more about Chapman. I'm gonna share my screen here, and then we will get started. All right. Okay, awesome. Can we see my screen? I think
Yes.
so.
Thank you.
Yes, you can.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay, amazing. Well, like I said, Chapman is going to be a private university, and I'm going to get to talk to you a little bit more about what that means and kind of what are the benefits and values of attending a private university. Obviously, there's many forms of institutions you can go to, and so it's really going to just be on what is your best fit. But a little bit more just about who we are. For private institutions, there is tons all across California, over 80 plus different schools. You can see that on the diagram here, just to name a few of those. At private schools, we offer a plethora of majors, over 200 plus. So if you have an interest, odds are a private institution probably has an opportunity for you to study that. We range in size, whether that's a small institution with less than 5,000 students to larger campuses to even mid-size like Chapman. So know there's a wide variety of what you can choose from. Typically in a private institution, that student to faculty ratio is going to be a lot smaller. It's going to be around 11 to 1. So what that really means is you're going to have a lot of access, not only to your peers, but also your professors, your facilities, your resources. It's going to be a lot more of a, enrollment can be a lot more controlled in a private institution. And so there's going to just be a lot of access for you that you're going to get to invest in during your education. And lastly, a huge emphasis of private institutions is really a commitment to students. We look at our schools and our students as not just another number in the system, but really as individuals who we want to succeed holistically. Whether that's just academically or personally, we really do have a deep investment for our students, and we get to offer them a lot of access and availability to things to prepare them to be successful. A little more just about what we offer degree-wise from a private institution. We have lots of degree options you can consider, whether you're looking to just do an associate 2-year degree, a bachelor's degree, 4 years. We have credential programs, even up to your doctorate. So there's lots of opportunities to earn a varying amount of degrees, and know that you really have a lot of flexibility. Like I said, lots of variety here. So whether you're wanting to do a 4-year program or maybe just a 2-year and transfer in, those are options for you at private schools. Whether you're kind of looking for a nationally ranked research university like Stanford or USC, we also have a huge emphasis in liberal arts institutions. Would love to highlight this just a little bit. Chapman is actually a liberal arts institution. You'll hear that a lot when you're looking at private schools. And what this really actually just means is that we give students a chance to have a very interdisciplinary form of education. So you're not kind of siloed to just your major or your interest. You actually have the chance to tap into a lot of different areas of academics. So maybe you're a psychology major, but you're passionate about arts and you're passionate about business. At liberal arts institutions, you really get a holistic education where you get to learn a lot of different sectors of your different interests. Going on, there's also lots of private schools that are going to be faith-based. If you've heard of maybe Azusa Pacific, Concordia, I went to Azusa Pacific University, so I've had experience in the private school world as a student. And then there's also professional schools in business, law, medicine, Harvard, things like that. So there is lots of variety of what you can choose from. Private institutions are really committed to having diverse campuses with a plethora of students from all over the globe. About 60% of students are diverse, ethnically diverse, as well as our campuses are pretty diverse. And so know you're going to step into an environment with lots of insight, lots of perspective, and we are committed to making sure that you get to kind of hear tons of different stories and experiences from your professors and your peers. We also have students that are very involved. In private schools, we want to give students tons of opportunities to be involved in student organizations, maybe academic organizations, Greek life. There's tons and tons of ways for students to be a part of community. And that's something you're going to notice a lot with private institutions as well, is they typically tend to be very residential. So many students are living on campus. They're very invested in the community. They're very invested in the city that the university's in. And that's going to be kind of, obviously every private school is a little bit different. But for the most part, residential living on campus is going to be a pretty common theme you'll see. Additionally, we are really committed to having successful students that graduate in 4 years. We know education is an investment. We want to get you out on time. And so know about 68% of students will graduate in 4 years. So there's great retention. And we want our students, like I said, to be successful and be getting their degrees. So what is the value of this sort of education? Like I said, you're going to get that attainable 4-year graduation. There was actually a study that I wanted to bring up that was done in 2019, where about 77% of students at a private school graduate versus 57 at a UC. Not to say one is better than the other at all. It's truly about what is best for you and your fit. But private schools really do emphasize making sure students complete their degrees in 4 years. We also have an emphasis on having less impacted programs. When it comes to impact, a lot of times schools can have more students than they do faculty or staff. And so sometimes that means you have delayed courses. At a private school, we get a little more control over enrollment, and your class sizes are going to be a bit smaller. We do this so that you not only have access to your professors, facilities, things like that, but we want to make sure and guarantee that you're going to be able to enroll in the courses you need. So know that that is a huge benefit. You don't have to worry about, will I get into this class this semester? It's really a priority for private schools to make sure you have access to those. And lastly, it truly is an investment in your future. We recognize private schools do have a heftier price tag. We are aware of that, but we really do believe in the fact that this is an investment, not only in your academic experience, personal experience, but also we want you to be in an environment where you feel seen, where you feel supported, where you have the resources you need and are able to succeed in college and beyond. And so, no, it truly is an investment. Moving a little bit into cost, like I said, you're going to notice with private schools that price tag might seem a little bigger than a UC or a Cal State. I always tell my students when I'm on the road recruiting, don't let the price tag intimidate you. Yes, it is a bigger price number, but that means there is plenty of gift aid to go around. So don't kind of take yourself out of the running to apply to your dream private school if you're interested just because of cost. Know that there's plenty of ways to earn aid and actually make this a feasible option for you. I bring up this a lot with students as well. I have a colleague who actually attending Chapman was cheaper than attending UCs or Cal State. So it really just depends. And so just give yourself the option to just take a risk and kind of see how that works out. So like you can see here, there's over 1.4 billion students that are receiving some form of financial aid. And we'll talk a little bit more about what that aid can look like to make it accessible to you and your family. So at private institutions, obviously I can only speak for Chapman specifically, and something that I will emphasize again and again is that every private school operates a bit different, which makes it a little confusing. So I encourage you to do your research and make sure you know the school's requirements because it'll look different from school to school. A lot of schools will accept the FAFSA. Chapman accepts the FAFSA, but we don't accept the CSS profile, which is another form of documentation you fill out. So little nuances like that, just make sure you're kind of aware. FAFSA is going to give you access to loans, grants, work study, things like that. So know that's a huge way students can earn aid. A lot of private schools will offer scholarship. So whether that's merit scholarship for your academics, maybe departmental scholarship based on your major, or even outside scholarships, we're really committed to being able to stack those scholarships together, get you an awesome financial package, and make your family and feel comfortable and able to sustain you for your 4 years in college, or 2 years, whatever that looks like for you. So how do you actually apply to a private school? Again, this is going to be another scenario of every private school is a little bit different. So for a Chapman, for example, we are on the Common Application, but not every private school is on the Common Application. So do your research. Some are on Coalition, some are on their own personal supplemental kind of website. So just kind of be aware of those differences. You're going to notice with private school applications, there's going to be a lot more supplements involved. There might be an interview involved. There's just extra pieces to the application, and everyone is different. So that's a fun thing to be aware of. Ask your admission counselors. Don't be afraid if you're confused and you want to double, triple check. That's just kind of part of the process with private and independent schools. Know when we review, there's a lot of different options for you. You can apply early action, we have early decision, we have regular decision. And another thing private schools really get to have the opportunity to engage in is the idea of rolling students. So when we're reading applications, we actually have the chance to kind of hold off on an application, get more information from you as a student, in order for us to better determine if you're a good fit for the university. So we actually have that flexibility to be able to say, hey, we see what you submitted. It's awesome. We need a little bit more. We need your first semester of senior year to make a better determination. So know that there is kind of flexibility there. And with private schools, there's a wide variety of selectivity. So I'm talking 50% admission at one private school to 4% at Harvard. So it really depends on the school you're applying to. So just make sure you pay attention to that. We have a huge emphasis at private institutions as well to have a very holistic review. What this means is we're looking at all aspects of who you are and how we think you're going to contribute to our campuses. So it's not just about your GPA. It's not just about what you do outside the classroom. It's really about painting a whole picture of who you are and if this would be a good fit for you as an individual. So know that we really do take into account a lot of these aspects, whether it's academics, community impact, institutional fit, things like that. Another thing private schools will take a look at, and I would encourage you to engage in, is this idea of demonstrated interest. We want to know you are interested in our campuses. So whether you are attending a high school visit when a college counselor comes, or maybe you're going to a college fair, or even reaching out to a counselor directly. We love to see students engage with us. So if you send an email to me saying, hey, Cameron, I'm so excited about Chapman, that's a great way for us to know this student is really interested in our school. So don't be shy. Feel free to say, hey, come pop by our tables. And it's a really awesome way to show schools that you are interested. So what now? We kind of have some just fun ways to kind of be involved within the private school sector. Go visit a campus if you can. If you can't, no worries. There's tons of ways to still show interest in a school without actually being able to visit campus. Do your research. Every institution is different. And also, don't be a secret shopper. What we mean by that is don't be afraid to say you are interested. That looks really good, and it's something awesome for us to consider on your application. Just moving a little into Chapman specifically, like I said, we are a private institution. We're located right in Orange, California. So really in the hub of SoCal. We're about 10 minutes from Disneyland, 15 minutes from the beach. So in the 6th largest county in the world is Orange County. So you have access to over 85,000 businesses just alone in Orange County. And we haven't even talked about LA County. So there's a lot of access to you there. Here's just some facts a little more about us. Founded in 1861, we're the 3rd largest private in California. We have around 7,800 undergraduate students, so we are about a mid-sized institution. We have over 125 plus different majors you can study that's housed within 11 schools, and over 190 plus student organizations. Our students are very involved. If you have an interest, there's probably a club for it. So know that there's tons of ways to be involved, and a lot of schools operate similarly for private schools. And we also have that 12-to-1 student to faculty ratio. Just a few of our rankings to just familiarize yourself. We are the #4 film school in the nation, which is so awesome. A lot of people know Chapman for film, but we also have the #9 best undergraduate health science program. We're an R2 research institution. We're also part of the Pi Beta Kappa Honor Society. Only 10% of universities are a part of this, so we are very honored to get to hold that title. And so that's just a few of our rankings for you. Just some of what Chapman offers that if you're potentially interested in. We have 4+1 programs on our campus, which allow students to complete their undergraduate degree and graduate degree in a total of 5 years. We have tons of programs available all across the globe if you are interested in studying abroad, getting global internships, things like that. Lots of research facilities for you to get your hands on. We really do believe in hands-on personalized education. And we do have D3 athletics as well. So if you are interested in sports, private schools have that as well. Here's just a little of just our alumni network. We have tons of alumni who are ready to network with you, help you out post-graduation, connect you to resources. And this is an awesome tool that we use at Chapman to really help you feel ready to step into your work field and know that there's tons of alumni all around the globe who are ready to partner with you. If you have any questions at all about Chapman specifically, feel free to reach out to our email. This is going to be the best way to reach us, ask questions. I come to your campus every single fall, so please feel free to join one of my sessions if you can, or even at a college fair. We hope to see you guys there. You can scan any of these QR codes as well if you're curious, but that's going to be it for me. So thank you.
Ms. Praney, thank you so much. Really appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
And to the families, thank you so much for sticking around with us. We wanted to make sure that we gave you a nice overview of all the different college systems. And so lastly, we have our last representative here. Thank you so much, Mr. Aguirre, for being here, coming from UC Santa Barbara. So I know a lot of our families are interested in the UC system, so eager to hear what you have to say. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Let me just go ahead and share my screen real quick. All right. Okay, everyone, we're almost there. I know it's been a long session, but all great things, lots of great information. These are all amazing universities. I today will be representing the UC Santa Barbara campus and sort of talking about what we offer in academics, our research, of course, admissions, where I'm going to discuss a little bit about the UC system and the admissions for UC and all those great things. But to quickly introduce myself, I should have done that already. My name is Julian Aguirre. I am a freshman admissions counselor here at UCSB, so primarily working with high school students through this admissions process. So questions about the UC application and UC policy, I'm also that kind of resource for you all. I am the counselor for Aragon High School, so I was there this past fall. I might probably be there this next fall, so I hope to see you guys there. But yeah, there is an admissions guide that we offer. If you guys want to scan that QR code, you can also just find it on our website to get more information about the specific majors that we offer at UC Santa Barbara. You guys can learn a little bit more about that. But diving into the UC system, so University of California system, right? We are located across California from Davis all the way down to San Diego. It is considered one of the best systems in the world. We're really, of course, known for our excellence in education, our contributions to research, of course, and then our distinguished and world-renowned faculty on campus as well. We really vary in the type of campuses that are offered across California. We have more urban, suburban areas, suburban more like UC Santa Barbara, and then more rural areas, Davis, Merced, of course, is those kind of schools. And they also vary in type of size that they're offering, right? So some schools can be as small as 10,000 students all the way up to 40,000 students. And we'll talk a little bit more about UC Santa Barbara's size in a bit. But of course, offering over 100 degree programs, right? So really a quite a bit of variety when it comes to areas of study and what you all might be interested in going into and pursuing in terms of your career paths and all those great things. So really looking into each campus within the UC system and seeing the unique offers that they have, because some specialized programs might be similar, but they also vary in many different ways, and of course in the resources that each campus offers. All the campuses are really reflective in the geographic diversity of California in terms of just geography, but also in terms of diversity of people. We of course, are a public school system, so we do serve first and foremost our California residents. But I want to go ahead and dive into a little bit more about UCSB. So, UC Santa Barbara, who are we? We are one of 9 undergraduate campuses within the UC system. Technically, there are 10 campuses. Of course, that last campus is UC San Francisco. That is a graduate program. So, if you guys are going to apply to medical school one day or dental school, that's an excellent program to look into. But the majority of you are pursuing your bachelor's degree for the first time. So, you will be applying to UC Santa Barbara or many of the other undergrad programs. But with that being said, UCSB, we're right in the middle of California, right in the central coast, still SoCal. We're right between the San Ynez Mountains and the Pacific Ocean. So of course, the ocean is our backyard. It's one of our, as you guys can see in this photo behind me, that is one of our perks, right? A lot of people are choosing to apply to UC Santa Barbara and come to SB because of this environment. Ultimately, environment is what's really important when it comes to being in a university. You're spending 4 years in this location, right? So you really want to be in a space that's conducive of that. I myself am originally from Los Angeles. That's about 2 hour drive from SB if there's traffic, which in LA there usually is. But that's, big metropolitan city, right? Kind of similar to San Jose up there north with you guys, in that sense, but very much a different culture. This is a small beach town here in SB, so very much of a more laid back experience, really reflective in our campus environment. We're much more collaborative, but we also value work-life balance, right? So all great things, something that I was personally looking for when going to the university. I myself graduated from UCSB. I have my bachelor's degree in Chicano studies with a minor in Black studies. So I was more into the social justice aspect of higher education, but very much wanted a sort of relief of all the craziness about applying to college, right? You're doing a million different things and all these great programs and great community services and activities. I really wanted to be in a space that's more chillax, if for a lack of a better word. But a little bit more about UCSB. Compared to other UCs, we're a mid-sized campus. We hold about 26,000 students, 23,000 of which are undergraduate students. So we're also very much an undergraduate focused university. The majority of our academic programs, our research opportunities, internships, they're really being pushed on to our undergrads first. Graduate students, for example, they're your TAs. They're supporting you in your own academic journey, right? So less competition against them when it comes to these different opportunities, especially on campus. Of course, I talked about our location, but overall, we are ranked 8th public university in the nation, according to Forbes in 2024. Of course, has to do with a number of things. Our research is one of them. We are a tier 1 research institution. So we are performing research at its highest caliber, right? So cutting edge research is coming out of the university every single day. We have 12 national institutes, over 100 research centers. So many different things are ongoing, right? So it's not just, things related into STEM field. We have all academic departments performing research. So maybe you are looking through a microscope, but maybe you're also, a dance major or something and coming up with a new way to deliver your craft. All those great things are always happening on campus. So definitely checking out those research centers and institutions on our website is a great idea to look into what sort of possibilities you might want to get into. But I want to go ahead and start diving into our academic colleges and what, sort of pathways of study you guys could have here at the institution itself. At UCSB, like I said, we're one of 9 undergraduate campuses, but on our campus itself, we are divided into 3 academic colleges. So we have the College of Letters and Science, the College of Engineering, and the College of Creative Studies. Of course, each college offers its own unique sort of educational experience. I'm going to sort of dive into all of that, all those great things. I want to start off by talking about, the different majors being offered, right? So as I said, we have those 3 colleges, over 100 majors, 50 plus minors. I want to quickly mention that we do have some 5-year degree programs as well. So if you're looking, as was mentioned earlier by my colleague, these are programs where you leave the university with both a bachelor's and a master's degree. So definitely a great way to save time and money. You're not attending multiple programs to earn both degree types. Usually takes you as a student about 6 to 7 years to complete it. So definitely a possibility. I will name some examples of some majors and specializations that offer this program for you. But starting off with our largest college at the university, we have the College of Letters and Science. So by far the largest one by student size, about 21,000 students to be exact in this college itself. 90 plus majors. So the majority of our majors are found here. Most of the liberal arts degrees are here, right? So everything from the life and physical sciences all the way down to the humanities, the social sciences, and of course the performing and fine arts as well. My major specifically was from this college, so very much an interdisciplinary approach when it comes to this programming, right? We really emphasize that flexible curriculum, your ability to just explore, find out what's out there. Maybe you're coming in as a bio major and you haven't never taken an art history class, so you find out you're passionate in more than one of those subject areas. You definitely want a minor. Double majoring is, of course, allowed, and triple majoring, if you guys become that ambitious, is definitely possible there as well. But I do want to make some notes in terms of the admission selection for LNS. College of Letters and Science, we do not have any impacted majors within this college. So whether it's biology, one of the most popular majors, all the way to English, art, history, whatever it may be, we do not admit by major for this college. So if you're applying as undeclared or any of the ones I just listed, we do not look at that choice. It does give you that possibility of exploration. So sort of takes off a little bit of anxiety when it comes to choosing what major you want to apply as. It really gives you that opportunity to explore. So again, we're not looking at that major choice when it comes to admissions, although there are some exceptions to that rule. There always is. If you are interested in a performance major, such as dance or music, you will have to submit an audition. Ultimately, we need to make sure that you have the abilities to participate within the department, but that's something that you'll be prompted to do. So just keep that in mind. But otherwise, really allows you for that exploration. But moving on to engineering at UC Santa Barbara, this is actually one of the smallest engineering programs in the entire UC system. We keep the program small for a specific reason. We want to make sure our students are getting much more hands-on learning experiences in the laboratory. So actually gaining those career technical skills that you'll need as an engineer, right? The majority of our students in engineering do end up going to graduate school, but we do have some industry partners when it comes to engineering, right? So we want to make sure you're prepared for the workforce as well. Just to name a few, we have Procter and Gamble, we work with Microsoft, we work with Raytheon, which is a local company here in Santa Barbara. So there's also those partnerships in terms of internship experiences that is definitely being provided to our students first. I did not mention this at the beginning, but UC Santa Barbara is the largest four-year public institution in a 60-mile radius. So in terms of all those internship and job opportunities, UCSB students are getting first pick when it comes to the local community here in SB. Local business owners, organizations, community members, they love working with UCSB students. Some of them are UCSB alumni, so really forming those connections and that possibility. But a little bit more about engineering. This program, all its majors do offer the 5-year BS to MS program, so the Bachelor's of Science to Master's of Science degrees, if you guys are looking into that. In terms of the admissions process, I do want to make some recommendations. College of Engineering at UCSB is highly selective. It's one of our most competitive programs here at the university because of the limited spaces that we have, right? Keeping the program small. So I do want to make a recommendation. If you're choosing engineering as your first choice major on the UC application, you should select that as your first choice, and then as an alternative major choice, choosing something from the College of Letters and Science. In the instance that you're not admitted to engineering, it's just a second opportunity to be re-evaluated, no questions asked, for that second choice major. So if you know you still want to be considered for UCSB, even if it's not for engineering, just something to think about and is advisable. But as a sort of additional recommendation that I do make is we look very closely at your math and science. Of course, it's engineering, right? You are required 3 years of mathematics to apply to a UC school like UCSB. We do recommend a fourth year. Ultimately, that fourth year should be pre-calculus or higher. We do require the minimum of pre-calc. So that might be your fourth year. If you already are passing pre-calc, that's amazing. Keep going in your math sequence. Ultimately, the higher you are in that math sequence, the more successful you're going to end up being in this coursework. And of course, the more competitive you do become in the admissions process. So just keeping those things in mind. But moving on to our last college, the College of Creative Studies, it's certainly not the least. It's just the smallest by size, about 400 students total participate. Very small, very tight-knit community for sure. You'll know everyone. You'll especially know your faculty members. You are being assigned a one-to-one faculty advisor when it comes to College of Creative Studies. And some of the majors, as you guys can see that are listed here, mathematics, computing, physics, art, biology, those are also found in College of Letters and Science. But the differences really come in the philosophy of this college itself. As the name implies, creativity, or more so the innovation of knowledge, is really what's the basis of this curriculum. You are not just going to be learning about research that already exists. You're going to be creating that research yourself, adding that, contributing that to the field in itself. So that means you must be very passionate. You must have those niche questions about, ocean acidification if you're in the marine science major or whatever it may be, right? Where you're that type of person, that type of student that really wants to inquire. But it's very much a student-driven curriculum. You are deciding what type of topics you're pursuing, what research you're pursuing. Of course, being advised with your faculty advisor, so you're not alone in this process, but it really takes that kind of person, that kind of student to really be successful within this programming. In terms of the admission selection, this is another selective college for all those reasons I just stated. It takes a certain kind of student to participate. So if you are interested in applying, choosing as your first choice major on the UC application, and then choosing an alternative major choice from the College of Letters and Science. But when you do choose your College of Creative Studies major, we will ask for a supplemental application. That supplemental application can sometimes be an extra personal statement or short answer explaining your sort of research experience. Why do you feel so passionate about your subject area, right? All those great things that the faculty members just want to really understand if you're a good fit for the programming itself. All these colleges, I will say that here at UCSB, we do offer online webinars just like this, similar, where we explain each type of college, each type of majors within them. So if we want to go into further detail, please just go ahead and check out our admissions website and join those online Zoom so that you guys can have a further understanding of each specific programming. But moving on, some of us already know what we want to do with our lives, and that's a great. I'm still figuring that out myself. You'll probably be figuring that out all throughout university, right? No matter what university you end up at. But if you are at UCSB, if you want to become a medical doctor one day, you want to go to dental school, PA school, maybe you want to be lawyers one day, we do have pre-professional advising at UCSB, and this is free advising for all students. So any type of major you are, remembering major type doesn't necessarily equal career type. You can be an English major and still go to medical school, right? You could be an art major and still go to law school. So all these great things, pre-professional advising through health professional advising and pre-law advising will get you into cohorts. They'll talk to you about what prereq courses you need to take, what experiences you want to be a part of, and of course, helping you out with the actual grad sort of entrance requirements, right? So the MCAT, the LSAT, all that processes, we're supporting you with that. So it's definitely something to take advantage of when you end up at the university. Some of us also are looking into specific careers, like maybe entrepreneurship. If you guys want to go into business, technology management is an excellent program to look into at UCSB. I will say it's a certificate program, so it is separate. You do have to pay for it extra, but it's supplemental to your degree ultimately. You're gaining that actual hands-on experience to marketing and, running an organization. We're bringing in business leaders from the Silicon Valley all the way down to Los Angeles, and they're coming and mentoring you, ultimately forming network connections, which is very helpful when you're going into business, right? You want to be successful, you got to have those connections in the field itself. All those things are provided through professional and continuing education, or PACE at UCSB. But let's go ahead and transition into campus resources in terms of what you guys could be doing at the university. How are you going to enrich your time? Because ultimately, you're not just going to be at a UC school like UCSB to just learn, right? You're becoming people. You want to have fun. You want to do all those great things. Well, there is a lot of possibility for that. At UCSB, we have over 400 student organizations, and they range in what they offer. We have environmentalism clubs. We have dancing groups like Raíces de mi Tierra. They are a Mexican folklorico group. So if you want to do that type of thing, that is available. We have leadership experiences if you want to be part of, or maybe I should say, if you guys want to become politicians one day, you want to gain that experience in undergrad, we do have Associated Students Government. So if you guys want to be a part of the decision-making process for, student life, where our student fees are being allocated, gain that actual sort of political experience, that's something you want to do. Definitely available and something you guys should all pursue. We, of course, have a good recreational and athletic culture here at UCSB. We have 20 Division I NCAA sports teams. The most popular are going to be basketball, volleyball, soccer. Definitely fun to go watch those games themselves. We have sports clubs and intramural sports. I myself was part of the cheer team here at UCSB, and there's so many different ways to get involved. So definitely looking into all those aspects. Checking out our admissions website, you can find more details about it. Our recreation center also has a lot more details of all those sort of sports programs as well as adventure programs. So lots of great things. If you guys want to, learn how to surf, learn how to kayak on the ocean, maybe you want to go hiking on the Santinas Mountains, that is available as well. So all great things and great resources for you. But in terms of housing, if there's parents here, I know you guys are most concerned with that. When it comes to housing, we do guarantee your first year at UCSB. So all incoming first year students are guaranteed housing. It is totally optional. You do not have to live on campus, but it's available for you if you would like to do so. We have 8 different residence halls. We also have 8 apartment style complexes for more of a suite style living. Something you want to look into, you want to have more of the traditional dorm experience, or do you want to live on a maybe more of an apartment style complex, right? So all those great options are available. We of course have off-campus housing. IV or Isla Vista is a small college town community that's right next to campus, has a lot of sort of, just private housing options, apartments if you want to find some friends to live there. It's great for socializing and great for living there. I myself lived there. It was really a good time. Of course, some of our actual university housing, though, we have a lot of programs like LLCs or the living learning communities to help you find community, right? So if you want to live with other students of a similar interest or similar cultural identity, that is available. So maybe you're women in STEM and you want to live with other women in STEM. We have a scholars floor for that. Maybe you're a Black student, you want to live on a Black scholars floor, right? That is available as well. So those are other options to explore. But I will say about 87% of all UCSB students are within walking, biking, and skateboarding distance to campus. So, to class, I should say. So you won't really have an excuse to miss class, although I will say I did procrastinate sometimes down at our campus lagoon. But that's just me. You guys will be able to sort of, navigate and manage your own time and see what you do with it. But all great things and lots of great areas to explore in SB. But how are you guys going to get here, right? Let's talk about admissions requirements. And these requirements, of course, go for all UC schools. For the UC campuses, we do require the completion of the A through G subject areas. My colleague earlier did mention those in the CSUs. They're very similar in that way. There are 15 there are 15 courses across your high school years, 7 subject areas that you are completing. So your English, science, mathematics, all those great things. I will say that we do have additional years recommended for some subject areas. For math, science, and language, we do recommend an additional year. So math would be a fourth recommended year. Science is a third recommended year, or excuse me, yes, a third recommended year. And then of course for language, a third recommended year. But that's just, as long as you're hitting the requirements, you're eligible to apply. We also do use a calculated GPA. So we are still looking at your overall GPA from high school, but to determine eligibility to our universities and campuses, we do use what's called the UC GPA. That is taking your A through G coursework from the 10th and 11th grade, including the surrounding summers, so the summer after 9th, 10th, and 11th. We're going to take those grades and we're going to calculate it into this average. That average must be a minimum 3.0 GPA for California residents. So you must have a minimum 3.0 to be eligible to apply. Of course, UC is very competitive. UCSB is a highly competitive school, so we do advise you go above and beyond in your coursework. You must have a minimum of a C or better in your courses for the A through Gs, but going above and beyond to really, sort of boost your GPA in that way and your chances of admissions is advisable. In the UC system, we do use a weighted and capped GPA. If you have taken any UC approved honors course or a UC transferable college, community college course, maybe you have taken a AP or IB course at your school, depending on what's offered, we will give you an extra point on the GPA itself. So just something to keep in mind. Here you see we give an 8 extra semester points. So we will cap you at that. You can't go crazy if you've taken like 10 APs a year. That's very ambitious of you, but we're only giving you 8 extra semester points when it comes to the overall UC GPA. I will quickly mention that here at UC, we are test free. We are no longer using the SAT or the ACT test scores to determine admissions or for any scholarships. So if you have those tests, that's great. We are no longer looking at them. There's no option to report it. So just keep those with you. The only optional tests to report if you'd like are the AP or advanced placement or those IB or the International Baccalaureate are available to report if you'd like to do so. A little bit more about freshman selection. It's not just about academics, right? Not just about that GPA. We're looking at you as a whole person. We perform a holistic review process here at UC and UCSB. So we want to get to know you as a person, right? We do that through the activities and awards section. So telling us all the clubs, sports, community services you're involved in. Hey, maybe it's not even school related, but some of you might have part-time jobs after school. You're taking care of family like siblings or grandparents after school. Whatever your involvements are, please tell us about it because it's the best way for us to know if you're a good fit for our community. The PIQs, or the personal insight questions, are another way for us to do that. They are 8 questions. You are choosing 4 to respond to, and these are all short responses. They are not essays. I'm going to say that again. They're not essays. These are 350-word responses, so very short amount of space for y'all to tell us your story, right? But we really want to get to know your perspective. How intentional were you being with your time in high school? Why were you in all these involvements? What your leadership is coming from? All those great things, right? So really approaching the PIQs as interviews on paper. How would you answer the question if you were talking to me face to face, right? So really thinking about it that way and sort of writing it down and pursuing it in that way. But we do have support for the filling out the UC application, which I'll mention towards the end. A little bit about transfer in case anyone wants to do the transfer route. I know we had a community college here earlier in the presentation, so that is a great way to get to UC. We do require a minimum of 60 semester units or 90 quarter units to be completed before you transfer, following a 7-course pattern. So that's 2 English courses, 1 math course, and 4 general education coursework at a community college. For California residents, you must have a minimum 2.4 GPA to be eligible to apply to UC school. Now, we are a competitive university for transfer as well. So here at UCSB, on average, a student is coming in with about a 3.4 or above when it comes to the GPA for transfer. So just keeping that in mind. Please check out or use this QR code to learn more about the transfer pathway. I know it was mentioned a little bit earlier about TAG, the Transfer Admissions Guarantee. That's an excellent and guaranteed pathway to UCSB. We are one of 6 UC campuses that participates. You must attend a California community college and have a minimum 3.4 GPA while following the rest of the prereqs to get into UCSB. UCSB only accepts at the junior level, so that means you are declaring your major as well. For TAG specifically, you can only apply to the College of Letters and Science majors. Just make sure it's not a performance major, and you will have that guaranteed spot for you in the following fall. So how do you apply? The amazing thing about UC is that we only use one application for all our campuses. So you're only putting in the information once, right? You're filling out one PIQ set, you're putting in all your extracurriculars and all your courses and everything you've taken. You're self-reporting only on one application and then choosing which schools or campuses you want to submit that to. But it does come at a cost. So for us here in the US, you will pay about $80 per campus. I will say that we do offer fee waivers if you qualify, if your family qualify, if you're income eligible. Once you've inputted your family information, the UC app should let you know, but you can qualify for up to 4 fee waivers. So also just keeping that in mind, we'll try our best to support you in applying to our schools. But here's your timeline. August 1st, the UC application opens up every year. So you could start creating your accounts, filling out on all that information, giving us all the, great details about yourself. And then you'll have the period of October 1st through December 1st. This year, we have extended the deadline again. Last year was about December 2nd. This year, for you guys who are applying, will be December 1st to submit your UC app. UCSB does not perform early action or early decision. So if you submit on that first day, that's great, but you're still gonna have to wait with everyone else. We do not do any of that. So just make sure you getting your application in before that deadline. For any financial aid applications, getting that in by March 2nd, so you can get considered for financial aid. When it comes to freshman decisions, we do release those mid-March. So you will find out mid-March if you got into our school or if you were offered a waitlist spot. This year we did have April 12th, should not be the 13th. April 12th was our open house. We do have a virtual open house on our YouTube channel. If you guys weren't able to come visit us, you will be able to check that on our YouTube channel to learn a little bit more about each organization and campus department here at UCSB. But once you have sort of chosen to come to UCSB, you will be submitting your SIR or your statement of intent to register by May 1st. You need to get that in on time to commit to our school. Any official transcripts, official test scores will be asked in July. So we don't submit those to us prior to these dates. Prior to being admitted to the school, we won't take them. We need them during this time. And in the summer, we do hold some summer sessions that prepare freshmen to get onto campus. If you guys want to learn more about those, check out our website or contact us. We will have more information about that. But like I said, our YouTube channel is a great resource. We have major spotlights, we have UC application tutorials for on-demand attention, so great resource for counselors and teachers as well. But we do have and we do hold virtual events like I had mentioned. So we have personal insight overviews on Zoom. We go through each section of the application so you guys can really understand what we're asking for in the application itself. But ultimately, like I said, stay connected with us. We're a resource for you. We want to do our, but you want to do your best to put your best foot forward to UC. We're going to help you do that. So emailing us, you can also, call us if you need to. Here are some social media plugs, shameless of me to do so. But our YouTube channel, like I mentioned, IUCSB Life is a great Instagram account. It's student run, so you can see what the vibe is like here on campus, what our students do all day. At UCSB Admissions, though, is our official Instagram account. On that Instagram account, we are currently releasing dorm tours. So if you guys want to see what the dorms look like, new resource. I created those videos, so credit to myself. But please go check it out. It'll be pretty good. But that's pretty much it for me, everyone. Thank you so much for listening about UC and UC Santa Barbara specifically. And I was, and I'm happy to be here tonight.
Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate you. Know that was a very long evening. For those of you that are still on the call with us, thank you so much. We hope you learned so much about just the different college systems and what they have to offer. Just want to let you know that the counseling department here at Aragon is available to help you every step of the way. We will support your students during the process and beyond. And if you have any questions or just have some follow-up questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch. Just before we head out, I want to mention that tomorrow on campus at lunch, we are having our Summer Opportunities Fair. Miss Queenie went out into our community to find a ton of different reps, programs, companies to come and pair with us to hopefully provide our students with some wonderful opportunities in the summer. Again, thank you all so much for being here tonight, and we hope you have a wonderful rest of the evening. Bye-bye.